my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in today's video we are looking at how you can layer 2% Alpha Arbutin Serum and 10% Azelaic Acid cream. Now this is a combination that can be used together, and you can use both products daily in the morning and or evening. So you can use them once or twice per day daily, and it specifically focuses on brightening. So if you're experiencing hyperpigmentation, such as for example dark spots caused by the sun or even acne, then you can use this combination to brighten this specific concern. And the same can be if you have like uneven patches in general, so that you achieve a more even skin tone over time while using them together. And so let's look into my example skincare routine so that you can see the order of application visually, and then we're going to put this into practice. So first of all, I want to give you an example of what it looks like when using both products in your morning skincare routine, because there's one important step that you shouldn't forget since you're already suffering from hyperpigmentation. So first of all, we're going to get started with the first step, which is washing your face using a suitable cleanser for your skin type and needs, or you can wash your face with plain water. Just make sure that in general it is able to properly remove any excess oil, dirt and sweat from the skin, and even some residue which you may have still on the skin from the night before due to your evening skincare routine. So wash your face, rinse it off, pat the skin dry. Then we are moving on to the first treatment, which is going to be your Alpha Arbutin Serum. I have a few examples right here. If you should have one from a different brand, that's completely fine, just exchange it. Apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin. And then we are moving immediately on to the Azelaic Acid cream. Again, I have two examples right here. If you should have something else, replace it. But I went with a 10% Azelaic Acid cream to make sure that you can get it over the counter and that this combination isn't as irritating, because the higher you are going up in the percentage, it can lead also to certain irritation issues. So once you have applied your Azelaic Acid cream all over your face and neck, well, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then it is extremely important to follow with sun protection when being exposed to the sun during daytime. So please do not forget this step, because you're trying to suppress your melanin production so that you will achieve a more uneven skin tone. You're gently exfoliating your skin with Azelaic Acid to achieve that brightness, so it can make the skin a bit more sensitive to the sun. So again, therefore sun protection is really important when working with brightening ingredients, and at the same time you're experiencing hyperpigmentation. So please do not forget this. When it comes to an evening skincare routine, it can look pretty much the same, but you're just going to skip the sunscreen step. So you're moving on as for your first step to your cleanser, then you're going to move on to Alpha Arbutin and then Azelaic Acid. However, depending on the sunscreen and or makeup that you have worn throughout the day, and you aren't able to properly wash everything off with your usual cleanser, I recommend doing a double cleanse. This can be an oil cleanser, this can be a balm cleanser, or even micellar water. And then move on to your regular cleanser and then continue with the rest of your skincare routine. So this is just purely an example of what a morning and evening skincare routine can look like. And again, I want to repeat, you can do this combination once or twice per day daily. So there you have an example of each, depending on what time you want to do this combination. And so now I want to show you the actual application, and I'm going to do this above the sink. Starting off with the first step. Again, this is your cleansing step, and you can wash your face above the sink. That's completely fine. However, if you prefer to wash your face in the shower, like while showering anyway, then go ahead and do so. Take your cleanser with you in the shower. It's very convenient, and usually you shouldn't have any issues to properly get everything off. There are certain issues when doing this just above the sink, so there I have a few tips for you as well. So I'm going to go with one example cleanser. This would be this one right here, which is Cetaphil Daily Facial Cleanser, which is great for combination to oily skin. If you have a different cleanser, if you have a different skin type, go ahead and exchange it. That's completely fine. Just make sure to read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser. So in this example, it is advised to use the cleanser on wet skin. So at first I'm going to use lukewarm water to warm water so it feels comfortable on the skin, and I'm going to properly wet the skin. Then I'm going to use about 1 to 2 pumps, which should be more or less about a coin size amount, on the palm of my hand, rub my hands together, and then I'm going to massage it all over my face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute. Just make sure to not get your cleanser into your eyes nor into your mouth. If that's the case, rinse it with water. And then I'm going to again rinse it off with my hands with plain water, using again lukewarm water to warm water. But in between, I highly recommend, especially when doing this above the sink, using a soft and fresh washcloth in between. Those are those makeup cloths that you can wet, and they do an amazing job, like removing any residue of like leftovers of sunscreen, makeup, or even your cleanser just in general when doing this above the sink, because usually your hands alone may not be like enough to properly get everything off the skin. And then once you're done with rinsing everything off, you're going to take a towel and pat the skin dry. And so this is now what I'm going to do, so let's get started. So, and now go ahead and take a fresh towel and remove the water drops from the skin. So once you're done with your cleansing step, you're going to immediately move on to the next step, which is the application of your Alpha Arbutin Serum. Now there are different Alpha Arbutin Serums on the market. The texture can change and the opening, and based on that you need to adjust the amount of product that you're going to use. So if you have an Alpha Arbutin with a pipette, use between 3 to 5 drops. Start off with 3 drops. If that shouldn't be enough, add a couple of drops more. If you have an Alpha Arbutin that comes in a tube, then use about a pea-size amount. This should be in general more than enough to blend it all over your face and neck, and the serum should be able to absorb into the skin. It shouldn't sit on the skin surface. If that's the case, you have used too much, and I recommend by the next time reducing the amount of product that you have used. Overall, when doing the application, please make sure to not get the serum into your eyes nor into your mouth. Please do not use it on top of your eyelids, and please do not get it too close to the actual lower lash line. Some serums, it specifically states that you can use it around the eyes, whereas with others it says leave out the eye area. So I recommend again reading the directions on your specific serum to make sure that you're not going to end up with like irritation depending on how it's meant to be used. But overall, you can use it evenly all over your face and neck. And so as an example, I'm going to use Beauty of Joseon Alpha Arbutin Glow Serum, and that one has a bit more of a thinner texture, where I usually like to go with 4 drops for my face and neck. So you can dispense the product on the palm of your hand, fingertips, or immediately onto the face, whatever method works the best for you, and then blend it all over. So once you're done with the application of your Alpha Arbutin Serum, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And now you can immediately move on to the next step, which is going to be your Azelaic Acid cream. Now I have 2 examples right here. One is a cream, the other one is so-called a suspension. Nonetheless, it has a creamy texture, and based on that I recommend using about a pea-sized amount for your face and neck. And so this should be more than enough to blend it all over. And again, please make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. Be careful on the eye contour. Do not get it too close around the lower lash line, and please do not use it on top of your eyelids when doing the application. So I'm going to use the ordinary Azelaic Acid suspension. I'm going to use a pea-sized amount on my fingertip. Like so, and I'm going to blend it all over. So, and once you're done with the application of your Azelaic Acid cream, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, if this is going to be your evening skincare routine, this is going to be the last step, and then there you have an example of an evening skincare routine. However, again, during daytime, I recommend following with sun protection, and this is now the next step that I'm going to do. So as an example, I have COSRX Aloe Soothing Sun Cream. That's one that I personally really like. And in general, when working with a sunscreen or moisturizer that already contains SPF, it is advised to use more or less about half a teaspoon for your face and neck, so that you have enough product to evenly blend it all over and make sure that you cover every area. And so apply 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure. Now you can dispense the product like this on the palm of your hand, but to make it more understandable and visual, I have half a teaspoon right here, which I'm going to fill up, and so that you can see the amount of product, and then I'm going to do the application. So, and then grab that amount, place it on the palm of your hand, and half a teaspoon is just a general guide. So the amount may change a bit using more or less product depending on the sunscreen that you have used. You should have enough to blend it all over. If you feel like there's still like so much left, then I recommend reducing the amount of product by the next time, depending on the formulation of your sunscreen. But make sure that you cover every area. I'm going to include my face, my neck, bit of my décolletage, and even my ears with that amount. So if you want to include your décolletage broadly as well, I recommend using about a teaspoon, because half a teaspoon is likely not enough to cover the entire area, which of course depends on how much décolletage exposure you may have. So I'm just going to blend it down a bit with whatever is left, but if I would excessively cover the décolletage, I would need to use more of it. So once you're done with the application of your sunscreen, then you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And this would be an example of a morning skincare routine. And so I do want to remind you that if you find the example routines that I have shared with you earlier helpful and you want to go over them in your own time, you can go ahead and do so. You will find a link in the description box down below where you can click on it. It will bring you to the website where I'm uploading my PowerPoint slides, and then you can even go over them in your own time online, or you can download them and save them to your device if you find it helpful to follow an overall general guide. And you will not only find my morning and evening example routines, but some skincare tips as well, and the products that I have picked. And so this is what I wanted to share with you on how you can layer your Alpha Arbutin Serum and Azelaic Acid cream in the same routine, using them together for brightening benefits. And I do hope that you enjoyed it. If you did so, please don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare in general, I have several videos on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to link some of them at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching and learn more about it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.